great question. Sausage has a surprisingly long and winding history that stretches back thousands of years. I'll give you a detailed chronological history showing how sausage developed from ancient times to the present day. Ancient origins: 3100 BCE, Sumerians, Mesopotamia. The earliest records of sausage making appear in Sumerian texts, where ground meat was mixed with spices and stuffed into goat or sheep intestines. This was both a preservation method and a way to use every part of the animal. 2700 BCE. Ancient China records in Chinese writings describe preserved meats stuffed into intestines, seasoned with ginger and other spices. Sausages were often dried or smoked for storage. 800 BCE. Homer's Odyssey. The Greek epic poem references a kind of blood sausage, showing that sausages were known in Greece by the early 1st millennium BCE. Quote, a stomach full of fat and blood, roasted over a fire, essentially an early description of blood sausage. 500 BCE, ancient Rome and Greece. The Greeks made sausages called loukanakaka, a name still used in Greece today. Romans developed numerous varieties and spread sausage making across Europe as their empire expanded. Roman cookbooks like Apicius, 4th century CE, include sausage recipes using pork, pine nuts, pepper, and herbs. Medieval era, early Middle Ages, 5th to 10th C. Sausage became essential in Europe as a way to preserve meat without refrigeration. Different regions developed distinctive techniques: drying and fermenting. Italy, Spain, Central Europe. Smoking, Germany, Poland, Eastern Europe. Religious rules and controversies. The Catholic Church occasionally banned sausages, especially blood sausages, during certain festivals or Lent, considering them too indulgent. Despite bans, sausage remained popular at festivals, fairs, and feasts. Regional specialties emerged. Germany, bratwurst, roasted sausage, first recorded in the 14th century in Nuremberg. Spain, chorizo, heavily seasoned with smoked paprika after the Columbian Exchange, 16th century. Italy, salamis and salsiccia varieties flourished. France, andouille and boudin, blood sausage. Renaissance to early modern period, 15th to 17th C. The Columbian Exchange introduced new spices and chili peppers to Europe, reshaping sausage flavors, especially Spanish chorizo and Portuguese linguiça. 18th C. Industrialization. Sausage production moved from home kitchens and butchers to early factories. Machines for grinding meat and stuffing casings sped up production. This was also the period when regional sausage brands became established and began to be protected, e.g., Nuremberg bratwurst. Hot dogs and frankfurters. The city of Frankfurt, Germany, claims to have invented the frankfurter in the late 1400s. Vienna, Wien, Austria, also claims invention of the Wiener sausage in the 1800s. German immigrants brought these sausages to the U.S. in the 19th century, where they evolved into the American hot dog. Number 19th, 20th century, modern sausage culture, immigrant influence in the U.S. Germans introduced bratwurst and frankfurters. Italians popularized spicy Italian sausages. Poles brought kielbasa. Hot dogs become iconic. By the 1870s, vendors were selling sausages in buns in New York and Coney Island. By the 20th century, hot dogs became a quintessential American food, tied to baseball, fairs, and street food. Mass production refrigeration and large-scale meatpacking in the 20th century allowed sausages to be distributed widely. Sausage became both a cheap working-class food and a gourmet item depending on preparation. Number 21st century and today, artisan and craft sausages. Revival of traditional butchery and heritage recipes. Focus on high-quality meats, natural casings, local spices. Globalization. Fusion sausages combining flavors, e.g. currywurst in Germany, kimchi sausage in Korea, Cajun andouille in Louisiana. Sausage traditions are now found worldwide with countless local twists. Vegan and plant-based sausages. Companies like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods have created plant-based sausages to meet growing vegetarian and vegan demand. Traditional cultures, e.g. Chinese Buddhist cuisine, already had versions of meatless sausages centuries ago. Summary. Sausage is one of the oldest prepared foods in human history. Invented independently in many ancient cultures, it evolved as a method of meat preservation, became ritualized in festivals and feasts, adapted through trade, spices, chili peppers, New World foods, industrialized in the modern era, and today exists in both artisanal and high-tech plant-based forms. It's truly a universal food. Almost every culture has its own version. Do you want me to make you a timeline chart of sausage history, with dates and key events, so it's easier to visualize? Or do you prefer the narrative style?